Joining us tonight, Arkansas Republican Senator Tom Cotton. He's a member of the Committees on Intelligence, Judiciary, and Armed Services in the Senate. Senator, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Brett. Good to be on with you.
I want to start with the breaking news today and the shooting at a school just outside Nashville. 3 children killed there, 3 adults. Obviously horrific and tragic, and we have seen this a lot. The president and the White House had a specific message today. Take a listen.
We have to do more to stop gun violence. It's ripping our communities apart, ripping the soul of this nation, ripping at the very soul of the nation. And we have to do more to protect our schools. So I call on Congress again to pass my assault weapons ban. It's about time that we begin to make some more progress.
How many more children have to be murdered before Republicans in Congress will step up and act to pass the assault weapons ban?
And obviously the White House press secretary very pointed towards Republicans in Congress. So your response to that?
Well, Brett, it was a terrible tragedy in Nashville today, and my heart breaks for all those who lost loved ones, especially the parents of those young children that were shot at the school today. Heart breaks for the entire community at that school. It's very disappointing to hear the president, as we're still learning about what happened in this shooting, come out and once again politicize an act of murder, calling for an assault weapons ban and taking firearms away from law-abiding citizens. I do want to commend the Nashville police. It was an amazing response from off campus in which they stopped this shooting from being even worse. And from the reports I saw from the police department, apparently the shooter had first potentially targeted another school and then made a decision not to go there because it was too well defended, it was too secure. I think there are some lessons there that we can take away as a policy matter, but I think it's premature. But unfortunately, the president's common pattern to politicize these shootings right in the aftermath of them.
Fair enough. And each shooting is different. Each shooter is different. But if you look at the stats, Senator, there's 129 mass shootings in 2023, 37 in March. 13 of those were at schools. There is this growing frustration that we as a country are better than this. Is that fair?
I hear that frustration from Arkansans, but I also hear from Arkansans who don't want to see law-abiding citizens disarmed. In most cases in these shootings, it was not someone who had abided by the law, who had a history of safe and responsible firearms ownership, and who simply wanted their Second Amendment rights protected. There are other ways that we can approach these, and I think, again, once we get all the facts, there may be some lessons from why the shooter didn't target apparently an alternate site that we can apply here. I just think it's premature to try to draw policy conclusions while we're still getting all the facts, while families and the community is still grieving.
We'll continue to follow, obviously, all of the politics and policy around that. One of the things that is getting a lot of attention is TikTok and the possibility of banning TikTok because of the national security concerns. 31 states now have banned TikTok on government devices. If you look at the map, it's starting to fill up all across the country. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the congresswoman from New York, had this to say.
They say because of this egregious amount of data harvesting, we should ban this app. However, that doesn't really address the core of the issue. The United States is one of the only developed nations in the world that has no significant data or privacy protection laws on the books.
So she's arguing for that, but is not sure. She says it doesn't feel right to ban a social media site.
Well, we should ban TikTok today. And if you have TikTok on your phone, you should remove it. And you should probably get a new phone. You should certainly do that if your minor child has TikTok. Of course, TikTok vacuums up all the data and information on your phone, not just the videos you post there, but all your emails, your text messages, your contacts, your photographs. It may even be able to remotely turn on phones and spy on their users. Second, TikTok shows videos that are entirely inappropriate to America's children. You know, I've seen reports that if you register on a new phone, a new TikTok account as a 14-year-old boy, it'll show you violent pornography. As a 14-year-old girl, videos about body image issues and eating disorders. But third, TikTok has also become a source of news for many Americans. I find that very disturbing. We would have never allowed Pravda, the old Soviet Russian media outlet, to become a media outlet in America. And if we wouldn't allow Russian communists to do it, we shouldn't allow Chinese communists to do it either. Those are the reasons why we need to ban TikTok and do so today. Unfortunately, you got Joe Biden, who's still dancing around the White House with TikTok influencers. And increasingly, Democrats like the Commerce Secretary, Gina Raimondo, or members of Congress are saying they don't want to take this step to protect America's children because it might hurt them in 2024 in the elections. It's highly irresponsible.
It's also tough, isn't it, to get 150 million Americans off of a social media platform they're already using?
Brett, America got along just fine until a few years ago without TikTok. There are many other social media platforms out there that perform very similar functions. We should not allow Chinese communists to have a major news source in America to be poisoning the minds of our children and vacuuming up all of their data forever. And I would point out, Brett, that TikTok doesn't operate like that in China. In China, kids only get a few minutes a day, and all the videos are about eating your vegetables, respecting your elders, and doing your homework.
I just want to ask one more question. This is the Associated Press. Vladimir Putin says Russia will station tactical nukes in Belarus. Putin said the move was triggered by Britain's decision this past week to provide Ukraine with armor-piercing rounds containing depleted uranium. What do you make of that and Putin's actions?
Almost every action Vladimir Putin has taken over the course of this war has been based on his own calculations and what he thinks is his strategic imperative. It's not a response to what the United States or Great Britain has done. That's why I've been so disappointed that President Biden has been scared of his own shadow from the very beginning. And every time Vladimir Putin takes a step, he begins to back away further from supporting Ukraine. I want to be clear about this. I support Ukraine. I don't support Joe Biden's Ukraine policy. For a year, he's pussyfooted around. He hasn't given Ukraine what it needs to win this war. He keeps talking about as long as it takes, we'll support them. That's a poor substitute for helping them win as quick as they can. That's what has allowed this war to drag on much longer than it should have if we had backed Ukraine from the hilt from the very beginning last year.
Senator Cotton, we appreciate the time.
Thank you.